Let's talk about trucks. Let's talk about mud boggins.
Let's do Ford versus Chevy now. Put a bullet in my mouth.
It's the longest weekly episodic show on the internet about mud and flat earth and fried chicken.
We'll tell you for the small audience.
Yeah.
We're getting things kicked off in the right way. Yep. There they are. TGW Live crew in the Diet Cokesters of the world. Yes, it is Trucks Gone Wild Live. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We're in the first week of June. Believe it or not, summer has officially kicked off, and we'll be doing it in a large way this weekend. Won't go into the details right now, but I'll let Matt Steele cover that. But welcome to the show, Matt Steele and Chris Ledford.
Thank you.
Great to have you guys. Appreciate everything, man. All the people are signing in, man. Everything's looking good. I guess you guys are about to be taking off on a little jet plane, right?
Bro, so much going on over the next couple of weeks, but we are excited about it. I want to say hey to everybody that's chiming in right there. Mr. New York, Jacob Kashmir, he's in the house. Perry Jensen, the international ambassador. Nate is on, the man that owns the Rec Yard. I was just on the King of the Deep show right before this from about 8 to 8:45. We're going to have Steven Chappell on with us here in just a little bit and talk about all of the things going on with Trucks Gone Wild, working with King of the Deep at the Rec Yard coming up in just a couple of weeks. Of course, we have New York next weekend. We've got Joe Bishop waiting in the wings, driver of the airborne truck, one of the highest of the high flyers. We'll talk to him. But of course, the immediate order of business is Bricks Off-Road Park that is currently open right now. And rumor has it they are piling into that place as we speak, fellas.
Nice. Good news.
Dude, the park is looking the best it's ever had. Bricks is taking stuff to the next level with what they've done with us, and then what's coming up with their big Rock the Country concert in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I saw some Instagram stories today. People were rolling in deep on a Thursday midday down the road coming in.
Wednesday.
Whatever it is, I don't give a shit.
It's Wednesday, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
It's early, Wister. It's Thursday somewhere in China.
You need to do a shot.
Whatever.
Shot.
I do have something here I could probably do. But anyway,
Anyway.
dude, I'm looking. It's kind of like our summer kickoff, if you will. Isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
Yeah.
I use that in a lot of our ads and in our marketing and stuff that we run. Summer kickoff event, no doubt.
Man, 3 in a row, just boom, boom, boom. And then in July, we've got 4 in a row. It's crazy when you think of over the course of is it 9 weekends where we have 7 events, or is it 10 weekends where we have 7 events? I don't know what it is, but it is absolutely insane. And they're scattered all over the place. You know, they go from New York to Maine to Saskatchewan to just North Carolina to everywhere in between. They're just
Yep.
The funny thing about it is during the summer we go to the cool places. It's kind of like golf, right? They play the tournaments in the cool places. You follow the sun, basically. But when you live in Florida, in Central Florida, and you go to Maine, to Florida, to Saskatchewan, to Florida, to New York, to Florida, it's a lot of long travel, you know. And we almost end our traveling season by going to Seattle. You know,
yeah, actually we do. Yeah,
so we put a lot of miles in for sure doing these shows. 20s, which is, you know, I don't know what is that, 7.5 hours or so from us, something like that, 8 hours.
Probably by the time we stop and eat, yeah,
right. It seems like a short run.
It does
by the time we get to that. So
yeah. So
No, Matt, I think we were talking. I believe it's 7 events over 9 weeks.
Mm-hmm. That's right, because we have a 2-week break and then we go 4 in a row, and we have 3 in a row, 2-week break, 4 in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's cool though. But we were talking about this on the King of the Deep a little bit earlier tonight, and I was talking to Steven, and it was because they do a lot of events as well. And it's not the events that are exhausting. That's the fun part, man. That's where people see and they go, "Oh, you guys don't do anything but drink." And it's like, well, yeah, at the events. Yeah, but there's a lot of planning that goes into that. And we've been doing that for 20 years. There's some dudes up in New York who probably need a history lesson. And we'll get to that maybe a little bit later. But it's kind of fun to think about that. But the drawback or the most difficult part is getting there and back. You guys know that when you haul your rigs. You know what I mean? It's like, yep, you got to do that. And you're blowing out tires. People say, well, you don't blow out tires when you're flying. Yeah, but flights get delayed, and then you get put up in a dumpy hotel, and you get home a day later, and you got to change your whole schedule. So there's always nightmare scenarios. But at the end of the day, dude, I wouldn't change a thing. It's my favorite thing to do, and we've been doing it for a long time, and I just hope that it continues. And I thank all of you guys for being a part of it.
Yep. Hey, real quick before we go into our first guest, let's get everybody to go ahead and share. We got a good group on with us tonight.
Johnny Lambert on it.
So, yep. I thank you, John, for always doing that for us. Hit the share button down the screen. Hit the share button. I'd like to get those 7 or 8 shares out of the way right away. Share it to your timelines, to any of your groups that you're members of. We appreciate all the shares. So you're not limited to just one share. You're more than welcome to do, 3 or 4.
Oh,
if you
really?
Can't. Yeah, and then type in shared once you do it. Yep, Nate, thank you very much for sharing that. Yep, Perry, thank you very much. And all right, Matt.
What the hell was that? What kind of transition was that?
All right, I'll work on that.
No, that was fine. I just wasn't ready. I was reading comments and doing all that. But dude, if you are ready to bring on our buddy Steven, then I am ready to bring him on as well. And we're gonna chat with Steven, and we're gonna talk about all things King of the Deep, dude, because we're excited about working with these guys at the Rec Yard coming up here, and that's in like 3 weeks or something like that. So
sounds good.
My man Steven Chappell, come on, Wister, bring him in, dude. Thank you, brother.
Hey, we're glad to be here. We appreciate you guys letting us come on, and we really are excited about another event with Trucks Going Wild for this event in Fayetteville.
We are very excited about it as well. I want to thank you guys for the gracious invitation of having me on your show. It started at 8 p.m. tonight. Hopefully some people saw that. Maybe they kind of came over to this one and they're watching this as well, and they're going to be like, wow, they're talking about the same damn thing. No, but
yeah.
You know what's cool is like, Wister, kind of the history of this, where Chris Conson brought, Trucks Going Wild and the Rec Yard and King of the Deep all together. And it was our first time working together last year. And I mentioned this, Steven, with you guys, but when we showed up last year, and we knew each other, but we hadn't worked together, right, professionally. We chatted and all that. And you got you got the tents up there, the feather flags, the PA. Everything is like wicked, just awesomely like professional, And we're like, man, these guys are for real. And y'all put on a hell of a show, and we appreciated every bit of that. And we're proud to have you guys as part of this event coming up in a couple of weeks, man.
Well, we really do appreciate that. Last year was a phenomenal event. We got rain right as we started, and it doesn't stop. This is a rain or shine event. Same thing for Trucks Going Wild. And we had some unbelievable racers come to the event last year. We had people flying in on helicopters. Do you guys remember seeing about that? Now, that probably won't happen again, but it was pretty cool for last year. But, man, we are really looking forward to another great event with you guys.
Hey, let me ask you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Wister. No, you're good. You're good.
I wanted to ask your opinion on something. That new show, Mud Madness. You excited about the eyes that's bringing to what you do? Because that is a lot of what you do. These big mega machines. Whether it be an ATV or a side by side. With 400 horsepower. And tractor tires and stuff. Now that we're seeing, is that bringing a lot of eyes to your sport? Are you excited about that?
I think we're just now kind of seeing some maybe ripples effects of that. Not really sure what that looks like yet. I know that, as Matt said, we've got a lot of our presentations set up for our sponsors, and I don't know what, I know that our fan base has always been pretty strong, especially here in the Carolinas. But, I think it is growing in some other places. Mud racing, so to speak, is fairly still a new thing to most people. Yeah. So, I know you guys also had that same opportunity when you had your own show, and you guys, I'm sure, probably saw some ebbs and flows of what that looked like as a benefit or negatives. And we're waiting to kind of see what that looks like. And I hope they do get a season 2. I'm very good friends with all of the cast. Well, for the most part, I would say that. Some of them I don't know that well, but the industry is small, and I support what they're doing. And obviously we kind of understand the thing that happens behind the scene, and then what gets put on TV is maybe not always A's and A's, but we'll see how it turns out. So I'm excited to see where everything goes.
Hey, Steve, that was a really good answer, dude. And you can tell you've answered that question before. I'm just going to say, because we would get the same thing, right? Because when we were doing Dirty Mutter Truckers, it's like, there's certain liberties being taken here or there, right? And people would ask, and you're like, listen, at the end of the day, the old saying of a rising tide lifts all boats, and that's all we're hoping for, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing: people used to ask me, "Oh, that's fake on the show. We're doing DMT. They're all that's fake." It's like, let me tell you something. Some of the behind the scenes stuff, or oh, this guy's got to get ready for the race. Of course, they're going to build. They're gonna take scenarios and kind of amplify them big. But I always told them the same thing. I go, that racing is 1,000% real, because when you're coming across the finish line upside down, flipping on fire, that ain't faking.
Can't make that. Can't cut and do that again.
Well said.
But they would ask, dude. They would ask that. It was just a crazy thing. Like, Chris, remember, it was one of the first two races, and who was it? It was Jimmy and then the Run It truck, dude. So it was like the second race of the day on the first shoot of 13 days. Boom, they both come across the finish line, wad both trucks up and all that. And I remember the one girl on the production team, she goes, "Ooh, can we do that again?" We're like, "Hell no, we can't do that again."
Yeah.
That was funny, because that same race, I think Nick or somebody raced first, and it was the bigger trucks, and they were a little slower, and there was an executive from the Discovery Channel that was down, and I was watching with them on the sidelines, because they were right where we got out of the way. And the first race went, and she was like, "Oh, okay." But I mean, wasn't really impressed. It was just a normal race. And then the second race, Jimmy comes, and it's flipping on fire over the finish line. You just saw our eyes go, "Holy shit, there it is." Now I understand. Well, now I understand why I'm not paying any of these guys hardly shit.
Yeah. Steven, tell us about your event, what you've got planned for the Rec Yard.
Well, we're excited another year with Trucks Gone Wild at the Rec Yard. That's going to be in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's June 20th through the 23rd. So we're coming up on it, and we have got a weekend full of great entertainment. But what we're going to be doing is Friday, we've got, I guess I'll mention this, a lot of concerts on Friday. Yeah. Saturday is what we will be running the Bounty Hole, following you guys that have a great lineup of entertainment. You guys are going to be doing the trucks. You guys are going to be doing some of our stuff. We've got some side-by-sides that we're going to be running out there. And the I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's the tire pool. Tire pool.
Yeah, we're doing the
side-by-side.
The Tri-Truck Challenge, and then basically the Tri-Truck Challenge with side-by-sides and the beaters.
Exactly. And following that, that's what we're there for, is the Bounty Hole. And, what we do is we have ATVs and side-by-sides, kind of tie those two worlds together. And we go and have Run What You Brung class is what we're going to do here for Trucks Gone Wild. The biggest, nastiest hole that is at the park, and that's going to be kind of a dollar sign, so it kind of curves a little bit. So even though these bikes are massive, and I'm talking massive, you guys saw some of these things last year. We're talking about 50, 60 inch tires or more on ATVs and side-by-sides. So 4 o'clock Saturday, King of the Deep, we're going racing, and that's going to be some of the biggest ATVs and side-by-sides battling it out. And so there's just going to be a great weekend. Saturday night, we're going to go and kick it off at the Booty Barn. I'm sure everybody from last year that came to the Rec Yard knows exactly where the party's going to be. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know how much time we got, but I tell you, we got a lot planned for that weekend.
Well, Steven, you guys are going to run a wet t-shirt contest up there tastefully. It's not going to be anything crazy, but like you guys said.
I just want to say it's class and it's ass coming together. Okay, we're going to do the best we can, but we're going to have a good time.
I like that, Steve.
That's right.
Good. That's good.
Hey, I want to thank, we mentioned this earlier tonight, I want to thank Leroy Helton and Clay Meadows. They're going to be the official Tug Masters, and that's going to be going on Saturday night, Tug of Wars in the evening time, and they have stepped up. Tug of Wars sponsored by Fast Tracks Mud Bog. I just want to thank Fast Tracks and Leroy and Clay for getting involved and saying, hey, we want to help out, and we want to handle these and run them. So thank you guys for doing that. I wanted to publicly thank them. And Steven, I wanted to say one thing publicly to you too, and I didn't think about this earlier, and I don't think that you did, but I want to make sure, dude, when I came up with the idea for the Tri-Truck Challenge and decided to do one with the side-by-sides, I was not trying to step on anything with the side-by-sides or do anything like that. And I hope you don't think that. I was trying to involve them in it, and I just thought about that just now. I was like, oh, damn, I hope it didn't come across the wrong way,
Oh, no. And you know what, man? I think that what we're trying to do with Trucks Going Wild and King of the Deep to kind of bridge that gap, because we all know that, most of these guys didn't start with the biggest truck that runs on the track. They started with somewhere between an ATV and maybe progress to a side-by-side. So, we all kind of have those things now and enjoy those things. And we definitely are glad just to be able to be a part of it, to come over there and check it out. We will be over there with you guys on Saturday, kind of checking everything out. Hopefully some of our racers will come over there and get involved. Cool. I would love to see some of these big nitrous ran side-by-sides out there on that track pulling the tire. So I'm excited to see what kind of event we can put on together, and it's going to be really a badass event.
Don't keep your distance down there on noon, or I might try to put you to work. I'm just saying.
That's right. I was going to warn him that. You beat me to it, man.
Hey, look, my wife already said she'd help you with the sign up, because that's her job. And I'm telling you, man, that's the boss. So, if she says she's helping you, that's good.
She's like, I'll help you with registration. I'm like, you are going to regret volunteering yourself for that. But thank you. So. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's awesome. Let's talk about the news that just dropped about Friday night as well, with Who the F is Just in Time and Little White. How cool is that? Little White. Man,
that is a great addition to Friday night and the overall event. Justin puts on a great show, and Little White, I mean, I'm a longtime fan, and I think a lot of people really know a lot of his music. He's very, very popular in our crowd. And man, that whole genre right there, let's just talk about that for a second, guys. So that whole genre of music has really done great. Jelly Roll has really kind of, I guess, like you said, all boats rise. And, that's a guy that we're glad to see doing so well. But definitely Just in Time and Little White, we're excited, so excited to see those guys come around. And also a lot of other guys that are local guys, and some of the guys that Justin's going to be bringing with him. So that's going to be fun Friday night.
Well, K.O. Kane's one of those guys. He was there last year. He's going to be here this time around too. And we met him, and always looking forward to seeing them. And I know same thing. There's a list of names, and it's right over here, but I'm not looking at it. Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's Larry Dale Reed, Fedora Mike, also K.O. Kane, and King Cole. So those are the kind of guys that are a little bit more local. But I tell you, those guys are all great guys and put on a great show. I'm looking forward to seeing that Friday night, having a good time, having a drink with you guys, and it's going to be great.
Dude, all of a sudden, all this stuff just keeps dropping in. Every couple of days it's something else. I think we're good. I don't think we need any more, right? It's like there's enough there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the haunted house. The haunted house.
We didn't even talk about that.
No.
Wow. That's such a big piece that we honestly, I can't believe that Nate didn't say something about that.
Dude, we forgot about that, but because there was a post on the Recyards page the other day, and they buddies of mine, they go, what's that got to do with anything? It's like, who cares? It's badass and it's different and it's cool.
I did it last year. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, guys. I went in there when it was closed. Okay. And I walked through with my phone light just because I was that guy. Okay. Find me guilty. I trespassed probably, but it was so fun, you guys. It was so fun. And that is a long, well put together, haunted house. But that's going to be a good part of the weekend for everybody that wants to come and just, hang out, ride the park. There's so much other stuff to do. So, man, we have really, like you said, stuff keeps on dropping out of the left and the right, but we keep on adding. And it's really, I'm excited, a lot more excited than I have been in a long time. And not just because we like working with you guys so much, but I think it's going to be a great time for everybody. Weather's looking great. So it's one thing we can't control. Yeah. But, man, it's just a lot that weekend for what you're getting for 3 days, $70. That price point for you to bring in anything you want, the kitchen sink, you can bring everything in the world. I think it's 11 under kids. So, yeah, I mean, we're just excited, man. I think you guys can see that.
What are the dates again?
June 20th through the 23rd.
June 20th through the 23rd. All right. We'll make sure everybody's reminded.
So you guys have a 2-announcer team, like you all go back and forth.
We do. My buddy Rob Tingman. This is actually Dirty Stripper Chemicals.
Yeah.
He's a good friend and a big sponsor of King of the Deep. So that's a cleaning product, and he's there on the microphone, kind of helping me. I'm more of an informative guy, and he's the entertainment guy.
He's funny.
Rob is very entertaining on the microphone.
Yes,
and,
yes, he is. He's funny, dude.
I met him and his crowd up in Rockingham a few years ago. I don't know if he's still on here, but I met him. I believe he won the sound competition with his side-by-side, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he can confirm that. But, that whole crowd was real cool,
Yeah. We just got a great crowd. I know you guys do a lot of traveling, and you're all over the place, and that's one of our great friends. We travel a lot together, and they help me out during the events, coming and get on the microphone. And just like you guys have Cole, we've got Rob.
Everybody's got a Cole, right?
Gotta have a Cole, man. Gotta have.
Can I ask you a traveling question?
Sure.
Because you guys travel a lot, like we do. I don't know that everybody understands that when. So Chris and I and Chuck started the company years ago. Wister came on a long time ago and as a part of the family. Dirty Mike, Cole, Mud Tank Dave. Just our crew that travels around together. You take long trips on the road. The comedy that you guys talk about amongst yourselves, does this happen to you? It gets so vile and disgusting that you have to watch it when you're around normal people who don't travel, because you're like, they don't probably think this is funny, but we do. Do y'all have the same thing?
Oh, man, I tell you, I've got a buddy of mine who I literally have had to cut him off from traveling with us because it's like arguing with my brother everywhere we go. But yeah, man, we travel quite a bit, and we definitely have those times where the conversations go off the wall. I actually was joking around. A friend of mine is Paige Sparks, that is on that Mud Madness show, and they just did a little thing where they ride around as a passenger in the side-by-side and talk while they're on the side-by-side. And they basically, the conversations that you have on the road, on those side-by-sides at night, especially depending on what's involved with that, it really can go all over the place, literally, when you're out on those trails. And that was the joke. They can go all over the place. Dude, the discussions, the rides, and it's a good time.
I have to watch it because we'll be on the road. We got a 3-week span and then a week off and then a 4-week span. Like, it's going to be disgusting, the things that we talk about. And then I'll have a bonfire at the house with the neighbors over, right? And I'll be hanging out, Julie, my girlfriend, or whatever, and I'll be going into something, and she's like, hey, wrong crowd. No. I'm like, oh, thanks, babe.
I get it, man. I just got through coaching my little girl's softball game tonight.
Oh, jeez.
And so, it's hard for me to explain, guys, I got to go home and talk about this wet T-shirt contest. See y'all tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah,
I love it, dude. I love it.
Right.
Well, man, listen, we kind of went over everything a little bit. I know our audience mainly is pretty much familiar with the Tri-Truck Challenge. I'll do some individual videos for that, but I do appreciate you letting me come on your show earlier tonight and really just kind of explain it. Guys, we went over, Wister and Chris, we went over basically every element of the Tri-Truck Challenge and the side-by-side challenge, which is the same, and the beaters, of how we kind of run things. And the idea was that if they're not familiar with the Tri-Truck Challenge, let them know that it is, and that we don't take it too seriously, and that it's nothing that anybody's got to be a jerk about. Let's just come out, have fun. I already heard back from Clay Meadows. He said they got a team, and they're almost guaranteeing victory.
Oh, God.
Wow. Cole Hudson is dude, you got Clay Meadows, Cole Hudson, and Eric Redbeard on one team.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice. Bro, that's like the North Carolina All-Stars. If they don't call themselves that, I don't know what they're going to do. So I think it's cool. And Steven said, hopefully they get like a team of side-by-sides representing you guys. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would love to see it, man, and just see who's able to run the fastest on that track, whether it's the trucks or the side-by-sides.
Yeah.
That's what I said earlier. I'm putting $100 up, and anybody that wants to throw in on it, I think we would find some guys that would be up for the challenge. So fastest truck team versus fastest side-by-side team. I'll start a pot with $100.
So you're saying just like are they supposed to come back and run again? Because We'll see.
So
or you just
take whatever. So we're doing this by time, right? Or are we doing it by heads up? Hand timer?
Yep, absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right,
because
we'll have that time.
You have 6 trucks out there at once. We
all right, so we'll have that time by the time we run the 2 truck class and the side-by-side class. We'll ask them, do they want to run again? And if not, then we'll just give away whoever run the fastest at that.
Okay. Or what you're saying is you've got $100 basically from King of the Deep going out to the fastest team of the day, be it trucks or side-by-sides.
Yes, sir.
Love it. Awesome, dude. Thank you for doing that. If if anybody else wants to throw in on that, that's cool. We can do that as well. So
however you guys want to do it, but it's up there. We'll give it away to whoever's the fastest of the day.
I dig it, man. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it.
I mean, we're excited about that. That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I love the team aspect. That's just going to be fun. Because, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're faster if your teammate screws up. I mean, you got something to complain about all day. It's not your fault. So that's entertaining.
Hey, Dirty Stripper Chemicals, your boy just matched that $100. So fastest team of the day is getting another. Yeah.
I'm seeing about $500 right there, guys. 400 or 500. I'm not good with hundreds, but there's a lot of hundreds on that.
Clay Meadows makes it 300.
Nate's got. Oh, so Clay's at 300. Nate's throwing in another 100. There's $400 now.
So what that means to me is I better get my side-by-sides boys ready to go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Damn, dude.
Well, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Any more questions from Chris, Matt? Anything you need to ask Steven before we let him go?
No, we're just ready, dude. I'm just ready. They put on a good show. I can't wait for it and can't wait to get back there. Look, it's an up-and-coming park. They've been putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that place. Come out and support it. Everybody always asks, we need a place like that around here. That's your place to build. That place is awesome. Go check it out. Give it a chance. Bring your trucks, bring your side-by-sides. Hide your wife, hide your kids. Bring them out.
Yeah. Call your dad, call your mom.
Well, sounds good. Steven, it was fantastic having you on here tonight. Thank you for everything that you're doing and building up the sport. And, man, we wish nothing but the best for you and your entire King of the Deep staff and, your supporters and everything. We're looking forward to teaming up in Fayetteville in just a few weeks.
I really got to say, you guys are top notch. We've had a great time last year. And even before, we're big fans of you guys. You guys have been doing this for a very long time. And so from everybody out there in the mud world that really enjoys a good show, we appreciate you guys. So thank you for having me on so much.
Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a great night.
Wister and Chris.
Yes.
I got to pee.
All right, well, hurry up because we've got a guest that's
I know.
in the green
you guys can start it.
Ready to go.
Dude, listen, look, I'm going to talk about something I watched. I watched a good podcast today while Matt pees. This is my interlude segue. I watched a good podcast with Dana White on the Andrew Schultz podcast. It was really good. And what was funny is he says he likes finding these niche sports and try to bring it to the masses, right, and scale them, right, like he's doing with Power Slap, like what he did with the UFC. They bought the UFC for $2 million, and now it's worth, $13-14 billion, and it's, huge and worldwide, and if Dana White's watching right now, which of course he probably is, we're willing to sell Trucks Gone Wild for, probably $30-40 million. He can have it all day, it's negotiable,
it's negotiable, yeah. Yeah, wouldn't that be something wild?
Or $300 in a pack of Newports would probably work too.
Either one, okay.
Either one.
All right, let's go ahead and bring our guest in. We've got none other than Airborne himself out of the great state of New York. We'll be seeing him next weekend up there. We're talking about Joe Bishop, one of the high-flying machines. There he is.
What's up, fellas?
What up, dog?
Good to see you, Joe Bishop, man. Hope you're doing well tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Doing well every night. You know how it goes.
Yep. But listen, fill in the crowd, man. Have you made up a great story about how you hurt yourself last week?
Yeah, went to a town a little ways up here. You wouldn't believe it, but I got ran over on the foot by a big old minivan full of Mexicans chasing Bigfoot, let me tell you.
Dude.
Wild.
Were they coming down? Had they just busted through the northern border or what?
Yeah, I mean, they came right through the border. They swam the moats and the rivers, jumped in the minivan, and were headed. They
and
had
there
Bigfoot
you were at the
in
wrong
chase.
place at the wrong time.
Oh yeah, exactly. I saw this big old blur of fur come flying by me, and bam! Before you know it, a bunch of Spaniards run me over, and away they went.
Spaniards. Is that what you said?
in their ships.
Yeah, they're ships. Oh boy.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm sorry about that, man, but I'm sure you're going to heal up fast and you'll be ready to go before no time. But listen, it's great to have you on the show tonight. Thanks for accepting the invite, man. I know that you're excited about the season getting up and running up there in your area. You're a little bit different up there.
We're a little late start.
You got a short window versus we've got the 12-month window. You guys have got the 3 to 4 month window.
Yeah, 3 to 4 good weather, 6 to 8 if you really want to push it. But,
okay.
It's still good. It's fun regardless. We got a shorter window, so when my truck's broke every other week, makes it a little difficult to make the events. But this time my truck's broke and I'm broke, so it's a win-win, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, next weekend up in Esperance, New York, New York Off-Road Park is going to be New York State Off-Road Park, is going to be putting on their first event of 2. They're hosting a event this June, which is next weekend. And then about a month after that, they're going to be having another one in July, calling it the championship rounds because so much is going to be going on. You're going to be involved in that one. Heavy. And this one, you're going to be more of a spectator, just hanging out, having a good time next weekend, correct?
Yeah, obviously we're excited for both events. The race series is going to be a great thing again this year. They've kind of pushed things to the next level. John's doing a ton of work at the park to accommodate everybody, give everybody a little bit more to do versus just the same old. Obviously we want to do improvements, make some changes. So he's adding mud pits. He's revising the tug pad. He said he's making it twice as big. So
Really?
So that'll make for a good show for everybody. Obviously all the mud bog guys, they want more freewheeling. So he opened up a bunch more acres of that.
Yep.
As well as a bunch more camping to try to make it more accommodating for everybody coming in, which is great. And then obviously the July event I got a bone to pick with that. Kings of Freestyle, I let myself down as well as everybody with a one-hit wonder in Georgia after a 37-hour ride there because Tim decided the toll booth was a better place to park his trailer than the road. So, but we made it. We got that dude off his old lady, got him to unlock his shop so we could weld the axles back under the trailer, and we were rolling.
Man, it's so crazy when we talk about that Kings of Freestyle event at the Boondocks. And what a cool idea it was to parade the trucks down to the performance area, right? And it's like we told Randall, we're like, Randall, clear the road. And all you have to do is tell Randall something once like that because he gets out in front. He's like, move, mother effer, move.
Yeah.
He's like, up to clear the road.
Savage.
And the trucks are going down behind him. And we're like, yeah. And we're all piled up there at once. And we're like, this is badass. Like 10 minutes into the parade, we're not a quarter of the way back there. And I'm thinking, I didn't calculate how long this drive was, and it didn't work out well for some because I think out of 8 trucks that went down there, we lost 2 that couldn't even make because Jimmy's truck overheated. He was out. And somebody else did too. I forget, right? So somebody.
Yeah. The 2.5 miles, I made it. It was 5 gallons of coolant and 20 gallons of fuel, but we made it there.
So listen, dude, this is redemption this July. And I know we need to talk about June too, but you need to heal. You know what I think you should do? You should probably, having the injured foot, you should be a judge of certain contests or something coming up this month.
Seems like a reasonable thing to do.
I think so too, dude. And with an injury, you get up front parking, right? You get.
Yeah, I got the little placard and everything.
Yeah, dude.
Just
roll up there in a
wheelchair, and I like windows. So,
dude, you roll up there in a wheelchair and you sit where you want, dude. You could be in the bed of their truck during the tug of wars. That's not a good idea. Never mind.
Probably not the best idea, but it seems like a lot more fun than hobbling around on crutches. So, Who's bringing the wheelchair and who's got a truck for me sitting?
Or maybe we can just stage a nice gooseneck trailer, not something nice and flat that is a little bit easier to get in and out of for him, up on and that kind of stuff. We'll have to figure that stuff out.
How about just a truck that doesn't require 2 feet to drive, and I'll beat the shit out of it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
if
right. Good point.
Somebody could just whip that together in the next week and a half. That would be amazing.
Yeah, they got plenty of time.
That shouldn't be a problem at all.
That's cool, man. Listen, I want to talk about Scrimma because Scrimma's one of the dudes that I trust in this business. Because years ago at Twitty's at about 4 a.m, there was a big tall boy, and I thought he was gonna punch. Boy was about 6'13", and he was telling me he was gonna whoop my ass, and he was so tall that I believed him. But I looked around, and there was Twitty, and there was Dan Bueno, and there was John Scrimma, and I was like, all right, I'm in good company at least.
Yeah, you had the squirrel himself. He was ready to take down anybody coming.
Dude, I was like, homeboy might get one good shot in me, and he's so tall, he's going to knock my ass into next week. But whatever, at least, they'll pounce. And so that I started trusting Johnny on that one. Now, since then, dude, there's nobody in the country, I don't think that puts more money into the events all around the country besides his own, right? Like he travels around, and I've said this about Scrimma. Scrimma will be like, hey, what's the purse here? I don't know, Johnny. He's like, add $500 from me. I'm like, okay. He just does that everywhere he goes. So
yeah, I mean, obviously he wants to give back to the racers. He's somebody who's trying to build the sport. He's not looking to get rich. I mean, obviously that would be a plus, but we all know how this goes in this industry. Right. You spend more money than you make, but he's actually giving it back to all of us guys. There's times where he's giving us fuel money or, hey, did you guys pay to come into the gate? Because I want to pay your gate fee so that, you're racing, you're helping out the sport. So here you go. Here's your gate fee back. At least give you some fuel money for the ride home.
Nice.
And, there's not a lot of places doing that. And he's trying to step the game up a little bit.
He is. And who knows what he spent on Bog Hog. And then he just texted me that he's got the new blower motor ready to have, I think, for in a week and a half to do that. But he might even have some guest drivers in there or something. I don't even know. I can barely.
Joe?
My fat ass didn't fit in the seat the first time, but we'll get some oil and we'll get in there.
Grease that puppy up, man. Hey,
yeah.
Get in the sweat locker, lose some weight, man. Hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah. We'll start eating salads instead of steaks.
Yeah. You got to do something. Ain't no damn.
Dude, how's the weather up there right about now? I don't mean rainfall, just temperature wise.
It's been great. It's been in the 80s the last basically 2 weeks.
Nice.
We could use a little rain, but that's supposed to be coming the tail end of this week, and next week's supposed to be beautiful again. So I think that's gonna make for a great weekend for everybody. What's
nighttime? High 50s?
Yeah, high 50s, low 60s. It's been gorgeous. You can't can't pass it up.
Yeah. Yep. That is all good, dude.
And you guys don't have you don't have the humidity up there like we have down here.
Not as bad, no. But summer months my shop's on a swamp, so the humidity is pretty terrible.
Yeah, that's a little different. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, Scrimma was texting me like, I won't hear from him for like a week and a half. And then I'll get like 19 texts, bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? So apparently he had a little break in the action, and he was just talking about everything. So the engine builder called, engine's ready. Boom. Hopefully Bog Hog's going to be ready. And he's got so we're going to have music news, some band information on top of, for June and July, on top of everything else that they're doing with the racing in June, the freestyle in July, the bogger events for both of those, the tug of wars in both of those, the downhills, the Barbie Jeep stuff, all that. I don't know. You can only fit so much stuff in the day, but I dig it, right?
Yeah.
Why not cram as much as we can?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And Joe, you mentioned the Premier Mega Truck Series is going to be coming there and racing. I think it's their fourth points event of the season. It's going to be next weekend. Dude, you're going to have some of the baddest trucks. Their truck count hasn't been below 55 at any race. They've had 55 or more trucks at every single race so far this year.
Jeez.
And just imagine you guys getting, 50 plus, mega trucks up there for next weekend, all the horsepower, all the best trucks in the country. So many people are traveling for that series to support it. Is everybody up there in New York excited about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be nice to have that different group of trucks coming up here. I mean, we see the Northern guys every year, all the events, but to get some new blood up here and show these guys what racing's all about it's going to be spectacular. Obviously, 50 trucks would be wild over the typical, 10, 15 trucks. It's gonna make for a lot better racing, a lot more excitement, and it's gonna take up a good chunk of the day, and people are gonna have something to watch.
Nice.
Yep. And you'll see. I mean, it's you know as well as I do, Joe, that the horsepower that these trucks are carrying in today's racing environment versus what they were doing 3 years ago is just different. There were very few blower motors in race trucks, 3 years ago, but now it's kind of becoming the standard. So you're really seeing that game shift where, if you're naturally aspirated, you're still giving it a 300 shot versus, you got the blower motors running 1,500, 1,600 horsepower or more in some cases. But,
Mr. Bobby Abbott.
Yeah. And you talking about Bobby Abbott. Now you're friends with Bobby.
Yep.
You're talking about somebody that's really on his A game this year. He's having a great season. He may still even be leading the points.
I believe he is. Yeah.
In the unlimited class, and dude, he is doing great, and he's a great guy. It couldn't happen to a better guy, in my opinion. He's always been the salt of the earth, and I love to see those guys that have been working so hard to get their game moved up to be doing well, and actually, it's starting to reap. But him and Shane Tucker, they're got a nice little battle, and then you've got all these other guys, man, that are they're
chomping at the bit.
Yeah, they are. Jason Haber, I mean, another fantastic racer from the Northeast.
Yep.
I mean, he's won in everything he's ever done. He's definitely one of those guys that's class of the field. But you've got so many of those guys now. And
it's not just one or two guys anymore. It's anybody in that class could win on any weekend. It's a driver's game, and not a one of these guys are anybody to be sleeping on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Wister, a little known fact about Jason Haber. He's only not won one thing in his life, and that was a battle to come in second place, where first place was actually second place. He did not win that because he never comes in second place. Just saying.
I tell you, Jason Haber, what he is winning at right now is life. I love his little sketches that he does for his daughters. Every now and then he'll come up with this super cool sketch. He'll have the living room outside of his house at the end of the driveway for when the bus pulls up. He's sitting there on the couch with the TV on, with a little fire over to the side. He's got the lamps on the tables and everything, and the daughters get off the bus. And what he does for those kids, they're going to appreciate that for the rest of their lives. He is making some of the best memories. But
that could definitely go either way there. But he's doing it right for sure. He is
winning
giving everybody
life,
something to laugh about and making people's days brighter. These kids' days brighter. It
is. It's so funny.
He is a completely different guy than when I first met him. I mean, maybe because I didn't know him that well, but he has humbled himself tremendously. He's a blast to hang around now. Before, we both wanted to beat the hell out of each other. So
it's that competitive nature, man. That's what it is.
I'll bet
competitive nature.
I'll bet you a lot of people could say that about him. And I mean that with all due respect.
Yeah.
He is so competitive, but you're right now. I mean, he's
having
older.
fun with it.
Yeah, he's having a lot more fun with it. Yeah, he is, but he does it for the right reasons now too. He loves the people, he loves the sport. He supports it. In all different kinds of ways.
But in that same vein, dude, we mentioned Dirty Motor Truckers earlier. There were people that we knew that wanted to legit knock out Keith Spiker. They're like, when I see him, I'm gonna knock his ass out. And we're like, okay, two things. We're like, I don't know of a human being that's been in more fights than Keith Spiker, so that's probably not a good idea. And two, keep in mind, it's all bullshit. Just go with it, right? So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, he's a guy that'll twist that screwdriver just to get you going. Yeah. And once he figures out he's got it, that you're his bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said, Joe.
Dude, we always said, and we said on that show, and I've said it before the show, that's why we wanted him to be on it. It was half the drivers were beaten before they got to the starting line. It didn't matter how their equipment was. He had you beat mentally before you even got to the park, you know?
Oh, yeah. He made you feel some type of way, and you didn't even know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I a loser? Why is he so much better? Yeah, it's true.
He's a quick talker. He'll get you when you least expect it.
Hey, Wister, real quick, can we go to Carl Jett's comment of, I think we got a new T-shirt here, dude. It says, beverages, bitches, bands, boggers. What do we?
Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay.
Yeah, but dude,
I was going to say that doesn't say that.
I think we leave the what a weekend up. Just beverages, bitches, bands, boggers. Yeah. That's what people say. What's Trucks Gone Wild all about? Right there.
Here's the game. Out of these four, you had to get rid of one. Which one is it?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
and then Mini Mac, dude, can't wait for the tugs. Dude, Mini Mac has been talking about these tugs in New York since we released the dates. I don't know that there's anybody more fired up than him about the
Yeah, I mean, he's been tugging dudes for as long as I've known him.
Listen, it's an old habit, and it's wait, what? No.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey,
what?
I've got a question for you. You and Tim Manny, of course, are two of the best freestyles in the country, but you're also hail from a very similar area, one another. You two almost pulled off the double backflip back at West Georgia Mud Park back a few years ago at one of Randy Oakley's events. And you see something like that maybe in your future where you two might team up and do something like that again?
Oh, absolutely. We've been talking about it on and off, trying to figure out the time, the place. I know Randy had talked about doing something.
Right.
So who knows? We might see something great this year. It's yet to be determined, I guess.
I got you.
Hey, Jacob says Mr. New York wants to be a judge for the legendary Kings of Freestyle. You know what, Jacob, dude? You've been around the block, so to speak, like Jenny. You kind of know what's going on. And I don't know how they're going to do that. I'm sure we're going to have judges. We got to work on that. We got to figure that out. But if we are going to have judges, which I know we are, Jacob, just get with me privately on that. Maybe talk to me in June if you're going to be at that one. Talk to me about that, and we'll figure that out. I think what we need is a panel of judges that aren't going to be bad, right? Like they're going to be fair. And then we need a couple dudes in there too. Like if we have any, you never know with these things, dude. We might have a couple of our Monster Jam buddies show up and they could be judges as well.
So it's not going to be a driver judge thing like sometimes in the past?
It could be that, and it may be that. I don't know. So Jacob,
what if we did both?
Both.
Yeah, but that's what so Joe, you are into that. So what are your opinions on how freestyle should be? Because as one of the premier freestyle guys in the country, you've probably done both. You've been judged by people or judged by drivers. What's your preference?
I mean, I like it both ways. I think that the judges definitely need to be, if they're going to be, yeah, well, is what it is. What are you going to do? $20 is $20.
That's right. Yeah.
But if you're going to do it crowd voted or fan voted, you obviously want to try to find people that aren't biased, which is extremely difficult to do because everybody has a favorite. But it's great when the drivers do the voting because everybody's their own favorite, so obviously they're going to vote for the guy who legitimately deserves it. Like when we were down at Iron Horse, it was a clear shot winner to me. Rough It Racing rolls it, keeps going. That's a page right out of my book. That freestyle was won right then and there. That was my pick no matter what.
Right.
So, and then it worked out great for us at Boondocks too. So,
Did Iron Horse do drivers judging?
They didn't, but at least the judges knew what they were judging.
Okay. Right.
I like maybe doing a hybrid. We've never done it that way before. We've done it each way. But maybe a hybrid's the thing and figure out how that works. If it's on a point system and you add up their points and the other points.
I mean, I think that would be a fair way to do it because then everybody has a say in it. Everybody feels included and, it should shake things up a little bit too because it gets that extra vote maybe for one driver or another,
Right.
And it keeps the fans interactive as well.
And here's the thing, dude. because I have heard, if I'm just being honest, and we're having an open discussion, I love the idea of drivers doing the judging, but I also know that there have been packs of drivers at certain events that have said, "Listen, dude, I'm gonna vote for you. You vote for me." Right? Pretty much no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that could happen.
And so it's almost like there's flaws in every system.
Dude, here's what's funny. I've seen 800,000 Megatruck freestyles, or a couple dozen, whatever. Like the last one we saw, we were at MMJ and they did it. I didn't agree with any of the drivers who they picked. I thought it was other people, and I'm like surprised. I'm like, really? Now maybe because I was flying the drone and I was watching it from a different angle or whatever. But I was like, man, that's it. I just thought it was different than what it was.
I heard things about that. A similar statement was that the drivers who won or how they placed wasn't necessarily the way that others felt like it should have gone. So like Matt said, either system could be flawed.
But honestly, I've heard that about every damn freestyle that we did. Just not every single one. Every now and then you have an event, and it's like you almost always know, not always, 80% of the time, you know who came in first. It's the second and third after that. You're like because it's so subjective. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes it's really clear cut. Like when Jake did the jump, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, he won. That's, you know what I mean? It's like, there's no doubt,
Yeah.
But it's just like gymnastics, dude. In the Olympics, that shit's been going on for 100 years, where people think they were treated unfairly or judged unfairly because this other one got the points, And I guess
it's like a dog show.
Yeah.
What?
Well, listen, we've all witnessed, events like this that everybody's got an opinion and stuff like that. One of the hardest ones, you guys, you'll have to agree with me on this. One of the hardest ones to judge was the team freestyle we did back in Mud Jam about 7 or 8 years ago. Dude. That was one of the hardest ones because there was so much like, well, this guy's partner only ran 1.5 minutes. Both of these trucks ran the full time. But this guy did way crazier. It was a huge ordeal.
When we did the one on the thing, that was Matt Newell and
Jace,
whoever the other guy, I forget
Woods.
the other guy.
Yeah.
Now, did they win?
No.
Oh, dude, when they did the double cross jump like this, I was like,
still to this date, that's one of the coolest moves ever made in a freestyle event.
Dude, the pit was so sloppy, and to get that timed just like that. I mean, look, half of it's luck, but when it comes together, it's freaking awesome. You know what I mean?
Dude, that freestyle event, if we're being honest, we don't have anything to do with the judging. And people say, oh, whatever. Because we've heard all the bullshit before for 20 years. Every Trucks Gone Wild event is rigged. Dude, we stay so far away from that. We don't want anything to do with it. And I will die on the cross telling you that story, right? But, dude, I got mother effed by good friends of mine at that event. They came up to me and they're like, dude, that was kind of bullshit. And I'm like, really? You? What? Come on now. We don't have anything to do with this. And I remember Dirty Mike was new in our relationship. Like, we weren't friends with him for that long. For whatever reason, he wanted to tag along with us, and we brought him with us, and we had him be a judge. And he handed me the clipboard, and he goes, with all due respect, I will never judge freestyle again.
I think it's the hardest thing you're going to ever have to do.
Yep.
Because everybody who's doing it, regardless.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be somebody who's butthurt to say. And, I've probably been guilty of it a time or two. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And we need to go back to just having fun with it. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. It shouldn't matter. Money involved, it doesn't matter. Let's just have fun and destroy our shit for free.
But you should get something for it, right? And then because it is an expensive hobby, but there's not a gun at your head making you do it, right?
Nope.
I always liken it to the guy on the front of the expensive bass boat that's not catching any fish, looking at the water going, fish, do you know what I spent on this boat? It's like, we all have hobbies, right?
Yeah. Well,
that's it.
Going back to what Joe said and Chris, a hybrid system, if let's just say you had 10 entries in an event, and you had, a the drivers voted on themselves, and then you had a panel of judges, and then you had 1 point through 10 points inverted. 10 points, would be the winning person, and then you combine the points. I wonder if something like that would work.
I think it would be very complicated, but I think it would be a pretty fair way to do it, I guess.
You could weigh it. You could weight it some kind of way. Like if you had 3 or 5 guest judges, the drivers are going to be the drivers. They're going to vote the way they're going to vote, right?
Right.
And then you just have 5 judges. All you're doing is just combining the numbers and seeing what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they might take it one way a little bit, or they might not.
Yeah. I mean, I could bring an Excel spreadsheet on my laptop. It's not a hard thing to do.
That's not a hard thing to do.
Here's the thing.
It is for me.
You can rig it totally, or you can go completely scientific. You're still going to piss off the same 6 dudes and never hear the end of it.
Yeah, you might
absolutely.
be right.
I say we just
try to
argue
with them,
comes of
and you
it,
never
comes
try
of
to.
it.
Yeah, you never try to argue with them online because they have a lot of spare time.
Here's one. You ready? You have 2 different judges. You have a driver's champion and a crowd champion.
Oh.
And if it's 2 different people, they have to come back and battle it out.
Ooh. The only issue is my truck won't make it for
that'll be the problem.
Yeah, none of the ones that did good will be able to make it.
I need a NASCAR crew to come put the truck back together in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's
but
funny.
I mean, can we get this out of the way now? I want to go first when it comes to Kings of Freestyle. I want to
do you?
ruin everybody's whole day right off the get-go.
Oh my God, I love it.
Dude, first is a hard spot. First is the best, but the hardest spot to go in because a lot of judges. I mean, if I was a judge, I'm like, man, am I really going to give that a 9 or a 10 right off rip? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I got to leave some room.
Yeah, I got 10 more drivers to watch. I mean, I think that's tough too. I agree with
But at the same time, you go out and you shut it down, then you know what I mean?
Holy shit.
Everybody else is sucking hind tit. They go out there and burr, burr, burr. It's like one little mistake and
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my truck's going to live second gear on the floor the whole time it's out there. So
I love it, Joe. I love it. Well, dude, man, you guys got any more questions for our good friend Joe?
I think we're good, man. Dude, I'm looking forward to it. We got 3 weekends in a row. Bricks, New York, the Rec Yard. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good racing, a lot of good times, a lot of good people. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Well, Joe, thank you for doing this tonight, man. Hey, it's great to see you again. It's been a minute, and always great to hang out with you, whether it be online or in person. Hopefully, we'll get to do both this year. But go ahead, Matt.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, our good buddy Mr. Dave Renfro is going to be at both of these events.
Whoa,
Sweet.
Nice.
There we go.
Dave Renfro and I have talked for years, always at Twitty's, because that's mainly where he was before. Now with the races expanding, he's showing up at more and more places. He's become a good buddy of John Scrimma's, and Scrimma likes to bring him in and do all that. I love it when Dave Renfro's there because I love to listen to him and I like him as a person. And Dave and I have been talking for, the better part of 10 or 12 years. He goes, you know what I really want to do? He goes, I want to announce a Trucks Gone Wild freestyle. He goes, but I want to announce it like with you. He's saying to me, and I'm like, and I love announcing freestyle. And this may be, I hope, the first freestyle that Dave Renfro and I can announce together.
He's going to bring the energy. There's no doubt about that.
There is
Dave
doubt.
is the energy of the day.
Yeah,
Matt, you better get on Amazon and order some vocal cords. You're going to need them.
Dude, I'm gonna keep it sarcastic. And the thing is, dude, I know the guys, and I know, no offense, but I don't care what horsepower you're running because you guys are swapping engines all the time, and it's too hard to keep up. You know what I mean? But I know stuff about y'all personally. I know what you did. I've known what you've done for these families, dude, at the end of the year, every year, Joe. And that's the stuff that I talk about when you come to the line. I talk about the way that you put smiles on faces. And I talk about the fact that we've hung out and I've seen you do this and that, the other. And that's what I bring. And Dave Renfro is going to be like, it's a 1672 cubic inch big block alcohol method. Don't stage him up. And I'm just going to sit back and let him roll, and I love it.
Well, I'm pretty pissed now. I'm totally jealous now.
Well, I didn't think you were coming.
No, I'm not.
Now you're going to have to.
Think, unless something happens. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to. But
Well, what are you pissed about?
No, I'm jealous.
Worcester's
I'm
on
jealous.
vacation number 12 of the year. He's going on a 48-day African cruise.
Hey, there you go. Somebody's got to do it.
Elephants on the boat, dude.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. All right, Joe. Brother, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to hang out with you tonight. Yep, thanks for doing the show with us tonight. I know everybody's going to be looking forward to seeing you in New York next weekend and, of course, in July as well. And so please tell everybody in your family hello. And, again, thank you.
We will. All right, we'll see you guys next weekend.
See you,
all right, buddy. Take care. All right. Any final thoughts before we call it a night, boys?
I got one.
All right.
I got one. To our buddy Adam and some of his buddies that are talking shit about us up in New York, dude. I just want to say on behalf of Scrimma and Trucks Gone Wild, we are flattered that we take up so much space in y'all's brains and we live absolutely rent-free. And if we didn't have social media, y'all wouldn't have a place to advertise. So thanks.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Have a great time. Mean it. Can't wait to see you. But it won't be in July.
Who are these
that's
people?
good.
Oh, just Adam and his cronies. It's all good. It's
Adam
all good, dude.
Adam-
It's the
Adam
wrestling.
Whipple?
Yeah, it's the wrestling thing, dude. You know what I mean? Listen, no hate toward him, no anger. They're having fun at our expense. We're gonna have some fun at theirs too. Johnny's tired of getting ripped off and losing money, so he pulled out. And we live rent free in their brains, dude. Yeah, life is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I know it's great.
No big deal.
I should have sent him an invoice for some of the graphics they were using of ours, but
Well,
it's all good.
You won't get paid for those.
No, I won't get paid for anything, but it's all good. So, like you said,
it's
all like you said.
good.
If we weren't making posts, they wouldn't have anything to type their comments.
Dude,
You're right.
You know what it does? It keeps things interesting and fun. You
gotta have a little bit of drama out there.
We're all old enough to where it's not legit anger. It's all fun.
That's right.
You gotta listen. If you're gonna poke around, you're gonna get poked back every now and then. It's not a big deal. It's fun. Come on.
I love it. All right. Listen, thank you so much, Matt Steele. I wish both of you guys and the rest of the crew safe travels tomorrow.
Thank you.
You guys are going to be heading to Poplar Bluff, Missouri for a huge action-packed weekend lined up in Bricks. I know they're excited about having you guys there again. I think this is like the 12th or 14th year you guys have been going there. So,
Dude, I'm on the text hotline with Scott Brickle at the moment.
Nice.
And I'm just give me 30 seconds for an update, and I'm going to try to get it because Chris, you're the one that told me earlier that people were rolling in.
Dude, I saw a great video on Brick's Instagram stories. They were lined up from the gate to the road, coming in, trucks, trailers, donkeys.
Nice.
I saw a steam train.
The Amish show up in droves for that one.
In mysterious ways, too. You never know what you're going to see the Amish bring to a Bricks off-road event.
Dude, it's so funny where we see those. We see the Amish up in New York. We see them up in Pennsylvania. We saw them at Yankee Lake. So we're probably going to see them at Black Rock at the end of July.
Yep, excellent.
Do
you have an update, or are we?
I'm waiting. I'm looking at comments, dude. Carl Jett, looking forward to seeing you. Carrie, always good to have you chiming in. John Lambert, be safe. John Lambert knows about the Tri Truck Challenge and all that. So, I don't know. The staff at Bricks, they're apparently too busy.
Just tell them we all said hello.
Yeah, they know that.
All right, guys. Well, listen, great show tonight. Thanks again to Steven Chappell of King of the Deep, man. We appreciate having him on tonight. Great information, man. It's awesome that we get another opportunity to hang out with them and to work with them at the rec yard. And also our great friend, Joe Bishop, man, for everything that he does. He's always a pleasure also to have on here. So thanks to both of those great guys for being guests tonight.
Dude, can you imagine the freestyle that's going to happen in July up there? In that part of the country,
that's gonna be wicked.
Because I want to say, between a handful of trucks in Michigan and a lot of trucks in the Northeast, I think probably the standout freestyle trucks in the country are in those two areas right now. Yep. And I think they're all gonna be there in July.
I do. I think it's gonna be great. both events are going to be rock solid. So,
oh, Jake Burton, did you see his post earlier? Jake, thanks for hanging on. You mentioned that earlier. So, Wister, this is a credit to you because what you make looks so good. Jake Burton had said, man, if these event Facebook pages were posters, I'd have them hanging all over the place.
Well, you know, I could make that happen. All you got to do is ask. I have every one I've ever done saved. So if you ever wanted posters from events, I could easily make that happen. So Jake Burton, all you got to do is ask a brother, and a brother will hook you up.
A brother will charge you.
No, I'll hook a brother up.
Brother's got to eat.
We'll put them on banners that you can hang down.
Listen,
we'll make posters, whatever you want to do. I can do any of it.
I think doing some of the things that Jake Burton has done and that he's going to do at the latter part of next month, I think he deserves a couple posters.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we can hook a brother up.
You know,
make it happen. I'll get with you. Figure out which ones are your favorites. All right, my friends. Listen, great night tonight. Thank you again. Safe travels once more to all my friends going up to New York and going to Bricks this weekend and New York next weekend. Safe travels to everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend and a great night. And thank you again for tuning in to TGW Live.
See you.